Look, I have had this on my mind all week while trying to wrap my head around our direction. The Cleveland Browns have officially signed Denzel Ward to a 2-year, $62.2 million extension, making him the highest-paid defensive back in league history. This move creates a massive shift in our defensive landscape and brings up real questions about whether we are still in win-now mode. This situation comes down to two things: what the deal guarantees today and what it signals for our future. There is plenty to unpack here. Like, subscribe and comment your city below. Let us break it down. The Cleveland Browns made a massive move to secure the future of our secondary by locking up Denzel Ward with a substantial new extension. As a cornerstone of this defense since he arrived as a high draft pick, Ward has consistently proven to be one of the most reliable assets in our locker room, earning 5 Pro Bowl nods throughout his tenure. According to Adam Schefter, the organization reached an agreement Tuesday evening on a 2-year, $62.2 million extension that guarantees him $52.3 million, effectively resetting the market for cornerbacks across the league. And here is why that is a big deal for our organization. By guaranteeing this massive payout, the front office has provided clarity for a veteran star who previously faced 2 years without any guaranteed money, potentially preventing a summer of contract drama that we simply did not need. For those of us who have followed this team through decades of ups and downs, seeing a hometown hero stay put provides a rare sense of stability. It suggests that head coach Todd Monken is prioritizing win-now talent rather than opting for a total teardown, especially as he navigates the high-stakes quarterback competition between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. While the trade of Myles Garrett signaled a shifting identity, this commitment to Ward helps signal that the team is still attempting to compete in the present. However, we have to look deeper at the numbers and the long-term roster strategy to understand if this keeps our championship window open, or if this is merely a tactical play to manage the salary cap as we head into an uncertain season. The most surprising detail about this contract extension is that Denzel Ward is now officially the highest-paid defensive back in the history of the National Football League for the second time. We find ourselves at this juncture because the final 2 years of his previous agreement contained absolutely zero guaranteed money, creating a precarious situation that could have easily spiraled into a summer distraction for our coaching staff. By locking in this 2-year, $62.2 million deal with $52.3 million guaranteed, the front office has effectively silenced any uncertainty regarding his immediate future. Here's what people are missing, which is that this move serves as a tactical pivot rather than just a simple reward for a hometown favorite. Behind closed doors, Jimmy Haslam and the front office are likely viewing this as a necessary hedge against a rising league-wide salary cap, ensuring that a premium asset remains in place while avoiding the chaos of a public negotiation standoff. Historically, our organization has struggled to retain homegrown stars, so seeing a Pro Bowl caliber player secure his legacy here is a departure from past cycles of constant turnover. While some may worry about the long-term commitment, the reality is that veteran presence is vital when Todd Monken is tasked with integrating young talent like Shedeur Sanders alongside a veteran like Deshaun Watson. If you look at how other teams like the Ravens or the Steelers manage their cap space, you realize this investment is actually quite disciplined. We are keeping our foundation intact while giving the locker room a clear signal that the goal remains competitive football regardless of outside noise or speculation. Now that we have covered the details of the contract, let us shift our focus to what this development truly signals for our franchise moving forward. And this is the part that gets me, because the stakes for this season are higher than they appear on the surface. By locking in Denzel Ward for $62.2 million with $52.3 million guaranteed, the front office is clearly signaling that they are not content with a total teardown. This move stabilizes a secondary that must remain competitive while head coach Todd Monken decides between his options at the quarterback position. The immediate impact on our salary cap is significant, yet it secures a cornerstone player who prevents the defensive unit from completely bottoming out after the recent personnel shifts. When we look at our upcoming slate of games, having a proven veteran anchor in the defensive backfield gives us a fighting chance against explosive offenses that look to capitalize on any mistakes in our coverage. This extension acts as a hedge against uncertainty, providing a floor for our defensive performance even as the team balances its long-term vision with the desire to remain relevant in the win column. Within the context of our division, this commitment shows that we are unwilling to surrender ground to our rivals simply because we are transitioning in other key areas. While our playoff chances will ultimately be defined by our efficiency on the offensive side of the ball, securing a defensive star at the peak of his career ensures that we at least remain a difficult opponent for anyone on our schedule. It is a strategic move aimed at balancing professional integrity with a pragmatic approach to building our roster. Extending Denzel Ward for 2 years at $62.2 million provides stability for a secondary that needs leadership, especially after the difficult move parting ways with Myles Garrett. By securing $52.3 million in guarantees, the team rewards a homegrown star and ensures he remains the cornerstone of the defensive backfield, potentially preventing a distracting contract holdout before the season. However, the massive financial commitment carries significant risk, as allocating this much capital to one player limits flexibility while the front office tries to evaluate the roster. Critics across the league are already questioning whether this move signals a true competitive window or merely a desperate attempt to maintain status quo. Here is where it gets interesting, as analysts are heavily debating whether the Browns are truly committed to winning now or simply buying time. They are watching closely to see if head coach Todd Monken settles on the veteran experience of Deshaun Watson or the raw potential of Shedeur Sanders to lead this offense, as the decision between those two signal callers will ultimately define our success much more than any defensive contract. What I really think is that the narrative surrounding this deal being a total fix for our defensive woes is slightly overblown. While I appreciate keeping a loyal veteran in town, money spent on a cornerback does not automatically solve our biggest issues at the game's most critical position. We still need to see a drastic improvement in offensive execution to justify these major investments. If we do not get high-level production from the quarterback spot, this expensive extension will unfortunately be remembered as nothing more than a nice gesture in a lost season. When we combine the massive $62.2 million commitment to Denzel Ward with the ongoing transition in our front office strategy, the vision for the future finally comes into focus. This extension serves as a clear signal that the organization intends to remain competitive while carefully balancing the books to ensure long-term viability. It is a calculated move to retain homegrown talent, which provides a much-needed sense of stability for the locker room as we navigate these changes. Here is the thing nobody wants to say, but we must acknowledge that this deal effectively ends the speculation about a total teardown. Fans should feel a sense of cautious optimism heading into the season because retaining a 5-time Pro Bowler proves that the ownership is not simply abandoning the roster after recent high-profile trades. By securing Ward, the front office is signaling that they still value the talent already in the building while waiting for Todd Monken to identify the right leader at quarterback. We are currently watching a team that is trying to thread a very narrow needle between shedding old baggage and maintaining a winning culture. It is a delicate balance, but one that could pay off if the play under center reaches a new level of consistency in 2026. Looking at the current roster battle, do you believe that Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders is more capable of leading this specific group to a deep playoff run? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Dog Pound. I'll see you in the next one.